Welcome back, everyone. One issue that has sharply divided the country is the participation of transgender athletes in girls' and women's sports. President Trump has tried to ban them from competition by executive order, and more than half the states have already tried to do so by passing laws. Now the Supreme Court will decide whether those efforts are unlawful and unconstitutional in a case involving a West Virginia teenager determined to play with the girls. Here's our senior Washington correspondent, Devin Dwyer.
With each throw of the discus, Becky Pepper Jackson strives for perfection.
I put time in over the summer and after practices, just trying to improve my technique and get better.
The high school sophomore from Bridgeport, West Virginia, was born into a family of runners. Consistently at the back of the pack, a coach instead pushed her to learn to throw.
My times were too slow and she didn't want me to not make the team. So she introduced me to shot put and discus, and that's when I just fell in love with it.
Becky's throws earned her a spot in the state championship last season, the first time the only known openly transgender athlete in West Virginia in any sport took a top prize.
Your teammates don't see a difference in your performance or your presence.
No, most of them are really kind. They support me all the way. It's just like being any other person on the sports team.
She may be embraced by some teammates, but she's been protested by other athletes and targeted by state lawmakers, who in 2021 passed a law banning Becky and other transgender girls from girls' sports. Becky and her parents sued the state, and a federal appeals court blocked the law as discrimination on the basis of sex under Title IX. The landmark civil rights law meant to guarantee equal opportunities for women and girls in education and school sports.
Why did you guys bring this lawsuit?
As a parent, I wanted her to do what she wanted to do, and I wanted her to be happy and be with her friends. But I also knew the importance of sports for a lifelong foundation.
Becky, who is openly identified as a girl since third grade, is among the estimated 122,000 transgender American teens who participate in high school sports. That's just over 1% of the more than 8 million teenage student athletes nationwide.
If boys are allowed to play in girls' sports, what we know is they will take the place of biological females on these teams and take away their opportunities to be successful later in life.
West Virginia Attorney General John McCuskey says he harbors no animus toward Becky, but that banning trans athletes from girls' sports is essential for safety and fairness.
Becky is bigger and stronger and faster than the females that she's competing against.
The American College of Sports Medicine says studies have shown testosterone produced during male puberty does lead to more muscle mass, larger hearts and lungs, greater body height, and longer limbs for boys and men. But before puberty, research shows sex differences in athletic performance are minimal. Becky says she's never undergone male puberty thanks to puberty-blocking medication and has no physiological advantage over her peers.
She has testosterone from her adrenal glands, just like every female out there. That's the only testosterone she has. She's actually not the biggest person on her team. There's people taller than her. There's people shorter than her. She's just an average female teenager.
Sports should be kept. Girls play against girls and guys play against guys. That's just
Sabrina Shriver competed against Becky and says she was made uncomfortable in the locker room and on the field. And in 2024 joined 4 other teammates in a silent protest during an 8th grade track meet. The group spoke out in defense of a ban.
This is not right in a situation that is eventually going to kill women's sports forever.
What made you uncomfortable?
I just didn't think it was right. So it was just, I don't know, we kind of all just felt uncomfortable and we didn't want any part of it.
Sabrina says she later quit the track team over Becky's participation in the league. Her views on trans athletes are not an outlier, as 69% of Americans say trans girls should only be allowed to play on boys' teams.
We are really starting to confuse, I think, in the athletic fields, the differences between gender and sex.
What is the solution for student athletes like Becky? Is it to just have them play in the boys' league? Is that fair and safe for them?
Yes.
That's where this should end up.
Yeah. I don't mean to be flippant, but that was a fairly simple question, and my answer is yes.
The U.S. Olympic Committee, the NCAA, and 29 states banned transgender girls and women from competing on teams consistent with their gender identity. 21 states do not, including California and New York, which have laws explicitly allowing trans athletes to compete.
Why not just play with the boys' team?
Because it would go against who I am. I've been a girl forever, and playing on the guys' team is going backwards.
And her mom insists Becky's hormone levels prove she's just like any other girl.
If they look at the medical records of individuals like the Olympic Committee, testing people, they test for other performance-enhancing medications or drugs that their athletes take. So if we can look at those levels, let's look at her level.
Opponents say that's just not practical, and now they're looking to the U.S. Supreme Court to hold the line and reinstate West Virginia's ban as drawing a permissible sex-based distinction in sports.
What would it mean now if it was allowed to be enforced?
I would be devastated because track is something I enjoy so much. It's where I met a lot of my friends, and I make most of my memories.
A lot of trans people are afraid of the spotlight right now for understandable reasons. Why aren't you?
Because I know someone has to do it. Someone has to do this for all of us.